Manchester United have lost 2-0 to Arsenal tonight. The highs of Wednesday nights have come down back to earth with a bump. But I'm not going to lose any sleep about today. Some players are just not in the races today. But it's been a long week, emotional week for United. But Arsenal, not much good either, are they? So United huffed and puffed first half. Had some really good chances. Hit the post with Lukaku. Hit the bar as well with Fred. And I'm not losing any sleep over this, Reds. Come on. Look where we was before Christmas and to where we are now. We are still in the mix. We're in 2 cup competitions. And my head is still high in the clouds. You know what I mean? Don't worry about Arsenal. They're always a defeat. They're always a defeat in them. We're going to finish 3rd place. I have no worries. I thought Pogba was a little bit underperforming today, considering, alright, he wasn't there Wednesday, but he's had a consistent run of games. Matic was a bit lethargic. The first goal, De Gea. What can you do? It's football. At least you don't blame the wind on that one, eh? But what can you do? It's just one of those. The penalty was dubious. I've seen them given. I've seen them not given. Maybe VAR could have cleared that up as well. We shall see that for next season. VAR is going to cause some fun next season. But don't lose sleep over it, United fans, because I'm not. We're still always at the wheel. We've just come into the station. I'm going to go sit out again. I'm going to go all the way to the FA Cup final, Champions League final, and finish in the top 3. So, take it from me. We're still on track. Boop, boop. You know what I mean? Man United, all the way. Hated, adored, never ignored.
Hi guys, how you doing? It's Abdul here for Full-Time Devils, Arsenal 2, Manchester United 0. This is a quick match review for you guys. So, going into the game, I was pretty confident, big run firing. Marcus on form, we had Pogba back in the team after Paris. Coming from that Paris game as well. You would have thought, we'd come into this game, not get complacent as well, and be up for it. But unfortunately, I felt we were a bit too lethargic at the start. We didn't have enough bite in the middle. Fred did have that bite in the middle, and he was winning us the ball a lot of the time. I know that penalty got given away, which was a little bit soft, you can argue, but overall, I thought Fred was actually pretty good in that first half, considering Matic wasn't winning any challenges, not putting himself about now. I know he needs the minutes to get back on there. He's been injured for a bit, so I understand that. Paul Pogba was a bit too slow on the ball, so he's not getting away as well, with any excuses. I thought Delors stretched the play pretty well. He got out there on the right and, really tried bringing us something different. It looked like a bit of a 4-4-2 with Pogba coming off the left and taking that sort of 10 role and Delors being that wide guy. And you know what? It worked at times. We made some chances. We didn't take them. The way Arsenal get the first goal, the ball just swerves away from De Gea, a bit of a freak goal. It's unfortunate. Second goal penalty. So when things like that happen, you're not always going to win the game. And even under Sir Alex, now people need to understand this. We're not going to win every single game under Ollie, and things like that happen. And again, tactical changes weren't too great. I disagree with them, but these happen under the best of managers. Teams that win titles, that win trebles, everything. So you can't really complain in terms of just losing this one game in, into this after Paris as well. I thought the energy should have been a bit better all around. The second half, the changes should have been better. But overall, I think we just need to pick ourselves up again next week, and the fans need to be positive. If you're giving me this or Paris, I'm going to take Paris, obviously. But overall, it doesn't mean that we beat PSG, that we get complacent in this game and we're not putting enough effort in as a team. But yeah, that's what it is, guys. Obviously, you guys keep it locked into Full-Time Devils. The Fancams will be coming up from...
Well, it had to happen eventually, didn't it, Reds? Ole Gunnar Solskjaer has suffered his first loss as Manchester United manager. The first game against PSG doesn't count. It was half-time. Arsenal 2, Manchester United 0 from the Emirates. Probably Arsenal, you would say Arsenal were probably the better side, especially at the start of the game. They looked good at the start. We looked quite lethargic, very much a hangover from the midweek game against PSG. quite frustrating, really. Some players were particularly poor. I thought Nemanja Matic was poor. In fact, I think he was poor throughout. Obviously, Lukaku had the big chance in that first half where he just swung his right boot at it. It bounced off the ground and hit the top bar. You could say bad luck. You could say a lack of technique, really. His build-up play today was actually decent, but he missed some really big chances in the first half and going into the second half as well. But there were some decent bits of play in that first half, and when I say that Arsenal was slightly better, I just mean they looked a little bit more up for it. They didn't look great. We didn't necessarily make them look brilliant. The goal was obviously a freak goal. Very rarely do you see David De Gea making a massive mistake like that, just a massive error of judgment. I don't really know what went on there. It'll be interesting to see what the pundits have to say, although it won't be really unless any of the pundits are a goalkeeper. But I would be interested to see what a goalkeeper has to say about that, because it's almost as if he anticipated the swerve to go one way and it just went completely the opposite way, even though it gave no indication it was going that way in the first place. So, yeah, big mistake from David De Gea, obviously. Xhaka scored the goal, and I was still confident at half-time. In fact, I was still very confident at half-time that not only could we get back into it, but we could come away here with a win. I thought Ollie would get something into him and we'd start the second half a lot better, and that didn't necessarily happen. Another huge chance for Lukaku that he missed. It was, yeah, like I say, a number of chances today that he missed. He has scored a lot of goals recently, so I suppose you can let him off, but in the big games is where he's maybe been lacking the goals for us, and he had some big chances today that he did miss. There was one particularly after a great ball from Marcus Rashford as well, who maybe wasn't at the rafters as much as he usually is as well today. Like I say, the whole team almost looked a little bit hungover. The Arsenal goalie, Leno, he deserves a shout out, I suppose. He was great throughout. It was like a reverse of when we went, of this fixture, when we last played them here. David De Gea had a great game. It was like Leno had a brilliant game as well, kept a clean sheet for them. One positive that I'll say for us, and this might be controversial and some people might disagree with this, but I thought Fred was very good today. I thought he was good in the first half, some really good touches on the ball in confined spaces. Great, his passing was brilliant in the first half and very good defensively as well. And then he gave away a penalty, which I thought it was a soft penalty, but I mean, like, we can't really say too much about that, can we? Because I suppose we got quite a soft penalty in the week, some would say. But I thought that it was a soft penalty. I thought Fred was unlucky to give away that, and I thought he had a really good game. But Arsenal scored the penalty. Like I say, they scored a penalty and a free goal. It shows that they weren't dominant today, but we just weren't good enough at all. Another player that really played poor, Victor Lindelof, I thought he had a really poor game today. There was one instance in the second half where the ball he just like watched the ball go over him. He didn't have a clue what he was doing. So yeah, it was disappointing. Ollie's first loss, but all it's done is bring us a little bit back down to earth, you know what I mean? Just so we're aware, we are in a big fight to get top 4 this season. That's not just a walkover just because we're in good form. We have got a real fight to get top 4 this season. And obviously we want to be competing in the FA Cup and the Champions League as well, which is why it'll be so tough. And this squad does need improvements in the summer. Obviously, I'm not just saying that off a reaction of this game, but from what we've seen earlier on in the season as well. We know that Ollie's not going to be able to patch all of them problems in our squad up straight away. So yeah, I think it's brought us back down to earth a little bit, but not massive cause for concern, in my opinion, Reds. But get your opinions in below. I want to hear what everyone has to say. If you disagree with me, tell me why. Get them in. Yeah, man of the match for United today, I'll give it to Fred. That'll be controversial. See you next time. In a bit.